If you're looking to shape up your flight routes in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the marketplace just rolled an expansive multi-content lineup. This week bridges the gap between busy US corporate jet routes, STOL bush trip competitions, and distinctive international gateways spanning Europe, Africa, Asia, and South America. We're looking at premier business aviation hubs like Westchester County and Destin Executive by Flight to High, high-altitude competition fields in Wyoming, and culture-rich international rivals like Morocco's Arachidia and France's Nîmes. Let's break down all 8 new handcrafted destinations so you can decide where to set your next departure. I've broken up this video into a few categories: the US corporate, regional and STOL hubs, the Mediterranean and North African gateways, and the last one, the remote, global and island destinations. Let's get started. The first one from Flight to High is Westchester County Airport, Kilo Hotel Papa November. This airport is located in White Plains, New York, recreated with high attention to detail for Flight Simulator. An accurately modeled terminal, custom airport buildings, high-resolution ground textures and realistic markings, custom lighting, etc. And these are the screenshots which they provided. And you can directly see this looks super nice. It's a nice airport, wear and tear, as you can see. Some parked cars in front of it, the fences are there, but also the, let's say, airport facing side looks cool. This is the airport itself. The interior is also there, as mentioned already in the release notes, and you can see that they added a lot of things. So you really get, I would say, a lot of value for your money, I would say, but that's of course based on these screenshots. Different cars being parked. Also this part looks super nice. You can see the hangars. Not sure if you can open and close the hangars, to be honest. And then we're back at the first image again. So super nice airport, Westchester County Airport. In this case by Flight to High. Then the next one is Destin Executive Airport, Kilo Delta Tango Sierra, also by Flight to High. But let's get started at how it looks like in Flight Simulator 2024 currently. So here we are at Destin Executive Airport, and this is the default scenery in Flight Simulator 2024. You can see that the airport itself already has a lot of details. I would say the grounding right between the taxiway and the runway is, I would say, not really modeled, and I do expect that the developer has done something with that. If we're looking at the aircrafts which are there, I'd say it looks really nice, right? Some aircrafts being parked, and here we can see the terminal building, which looks, I would say, pretty basic, right? We can see the radar dome over here, we can see some other buildings. There's some wear and tear on the roofs, especially if you look at this one. But if we go to the other side, we can see also that the aprons are super nice because there's some level of detail already on it. You can see some wear and tear on it. We can see some, I would say, lights over here, which is new in Flight Simulator 2024 Sim Update number 6, where they made those improvements. And then, of course, we are here at the other buildings. You can still see some wear and tear, but here in the center, right, as I already mentioned, you can see that they didn't model this part, I would say, which I do hope that the developer has done some improvements on, because that's what I expect them to improve. If we look at the signs right on the taxiway, these are the default signs as every airport has, unless you, of course, did buy a third-party one, because in those cases they will likely have added some more detail. In this case, the refueling station, that one looks pretty detailed, and also here we see some other buildings. So there's a, let's say, variety of buildings. There's some wear and tear on the tarmac also. Also on the runway itself, you can see that these systems are there, right? You can see that the poppy lights are working. Always nice to use that using the drone mode. But now let's have a look at what the developer has improved for this airport. So we're back, and the good news is, before we really look at the details, you can rent this airport. So you can first rent it and then decide to buy it. Although the renting price is, I would say, almost the buying price. So it's really up to you. This airport is located just minutes from the beautiful Emerald Coast. It serves business aviation, private pilots and charter operations. And this is included the airport itself and the surroundings, the accurate taxiway, realistic ground markings, custom airport lighting, and of course optimized for performance. This is from the same developer as the previous one, from Fly to High, and you can see this also is a super nice one. Updated signs, you can see the, I would say, runway, you can see the traffic tower with wear and tear. You can also see that there are some aircraft parked here. Not sure if they're static, could be. And then the surroundings, right? The surroundings also have been updated by this developer. So super cool airport, Destin Executive Airport, now available in the marketplace. And then for those who love to fly short takeoff and landings, there's the Pinedale Ralph Wenz Field National STOL, where it's where I would say the National STOL, competition takes place. And this is really challenging, right? Short takeoff and landings. If you're a fan of that, then this airport could be something which you can consider to buy. It's not really expensive. It's also not really an airport. It's only a setup for the event based on my understanding. And unfortunately, they only provide one screenshot over here and one screenshot over here. So I can't really judge if it's really worth the money. But if you look at the money, it's not that much. Then the first airport in the Mediterranean and North African gateways is Moulay Ali Sharif Airport, Golf Mike Foxtrot Kilo by Ismaburg. This airport is the experience of beauty of southeastern Morocco with the highly detailed rendition of the airport. Scenery is accurately modeled, highly detailed, accurate layout, high resolution PBR textures, realistic ground markings, enhanced night lighting, optimized for performance. And this is what you will get. Unfortunately, also not too many pictures. Also, the building looks a little bit too clean to me, but it looks okay. So you can still consider to buy it, of course. Then we've got Nîmes Airport, but before jumping into this add-on, let's first look at how it looks like in Flight Simulator 2024. And here we are at Nîmes Airport, and as you can see, the airport doesn't look too bad in Flight Simulator 2024 using the default content. We can see a lot of buildings, hangars. We can even see, I would say, some parked cars and some special, I would say, locations, as it looks like. We can even see that the scenery right between the runway and taxiway looks pretty, I would say, nice developed. Also, the runway itself, a lot of usage on it. So let's go a little bit lower and then we can look at some more details. The airport itself, right, if we look at the buildings, of course, those hangar buildings are using the default, I would say, Asobo/Microsoft content. So they don't look that special, although there are some wear and tear, and of course they can't open. We also do see that there's, I would say, some aircrafts parked over here. So that's also super nice. And if we move around a bit, we can see that the lines on the aprons to the taxiways are also nicely designed. There are no signs, unfortunately, but that might be, I would say, completely normal. And then, of course, we arrive at the traffic tower. The traffic tower also is modeled, including a refueling station in front of the traffic tower. Here we do see some wear and tear on the traffic tower itself. Terminal building looks, I would say, pretty simplistic, but that again is expected. And then we can see some, I would say, larger hangars. Let me speed up it a bit so we can have a close look at it. So large hangar buildings over here with some wear and tear, as you can see. And then a lot of, I would say, kind of special places, right? It looks like that this could clarify the part, which I'm gonna, I would say, uncover soon, that this airport is used by some other services also, if I'm correctly. So if we're moving over to the other side, we can see also terminal building over here. This might be, I would say, private jet center. Refueling stations also on this end. And if you look at this, right, there's some nice, I would say, wear and tear on the roofs. And also a lot of, let's say, parking spots, because there are a lot of parking spots for GA aircrafts. So now let's look what the developer has created using their update. This airport is a civil aviation airport, but it also meets the France Secure Civil, right? Civil security. This airport is transporting a lot of passengers, as you can see. You can use both for IFR, but also for VFR, but also airline rotation or firefighting missions. It has the taxiways, the parking areas, and the ground markings and the ground textures. Static aircrafts are there. Keep it in mind, The Canada CL450 and Dash 8 and EC145 are the static ones likely. Animations are there, full night lightning, and this is what you will get. And if you compare this with the default scenery, I think you must agree that this really adds value, which is, by the way, in most cases applicable to all the airports which are being added, because the basic scenery is okay, but this simply adds more detail to the airport. Also, the updated night lighting is there, and here again we're at picture number 1. So nice package, Nîmes Garon Airport. Then we arrived at the third category, the remote, global and island destinations. The first one is Altai Creda International Airport, Zulu Whiskey Alpha Tango by MSF Scenery Builders. As always, not too many information about this. It's a 4C domestic regional tourism airport. A large aircraft which can be used is a 737-800. And this is what you will get. You can see the wear and tear on the aprons. You can see the emergency services, wear and tear on the buildings, and some other cool things. But that's it. Then we've got Restancia International Airport, Sierra Alpha Romeo Echo. Before looking at this one, let's look at how it currently looks like in Flight Simulator 2024. So welcome at Resistencia. This is the default scenery in Flight Simulator 2024. You can see a lot of things which require some improvements because it's pretty basic. Let me speed up the drone a bit. You can see that this is the runway. The runway looks, I would say, not used a lot, to be honest. And you can see some spots which show some usage. But also there are some weird things, like for example here you can see some tarmac which ends nowhere. And then eventually, let's say the tarmac ends up over here. At the end of the runway we can see the same thing, but that likely is to turn the aircraft. This is the main terminal building, and the main terminal building is really simplistic. It contains some details, it contains some wear and tear, and probably it has, let's say, some looks of how it looks like in real life. If we turn around, we can see that there's really, I would say, almost nothing here besides some, let's say, hangar buildings. If we move over, we can see the radar dome also over here, and then the rest of it is the city itself. So this gives the developer a lot of opportunities to improve this airport. So let's have a look at it. This one has been created by TowerSoft. I didn't see that name a lot, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do think it's a really new developer. So let's look what they developed. They developed this airport, which is a highly detailed recreation of the airport, including the terminal, hangars, operational buildings, auxiliary facilities, apron, taxiways, runway, and surrounding airport, as well as the infrastructure. So detailed custom buildings, custom airport ground and apron textures, airport objects, runway and taxiway configuration. There's the runway and taxiway markings, and a lot of other cool things, including the GSX profile, which can be used. And this is the airport. And I would say this one, if you compare it with the default scenery again, then this one is really, let's say, a nice addition to your marketplace. So if you love to fly in this area, and you love to fly more, and if you love to add more detail, then add this one to your marketplace. Then the last one in this category is King Island Airport, Yankee Kilo, India. This airport is located on the island of Tasmania, Australia. It's a nice airport, and if we scroll down we can see that everything has been hand modeled, which means it's hand created, including the interiors, including the logistic vehicles, including the factory near the airport, including radar and other objects. And if you do that, you will get this, right? It's not a really big airport, but if you look at the level of detail, including the wear and tear, it looks super nice. I do think that the only thing which I didn't create manually is the cars in front of it. But the rest of it is super detailed. A lot of nice things, including the interior of the airport. But that's of course your personal preference if you like that, yes or no. But now it's available in the marketplace, King Island Airport. So whether you're spooling up a business jet out of Westchester, running short takeoff drills in Wyoming, or heading into the desert approach in Arcadia, this week's drop-off offers substantial variety for myself Flight Simulator 2024. It's great to see more developers jumping on this platform, but also of course to see the non-suspects back with new airports added to the marketplace. Which of these 8 airports is earning a spot in your virtual flight deck first? Let me know via the comment box below, and hope to see you back next week.